All right, everyone, we got a good number of folks here, so I think we're going to get started. Hello and welcome to the Unirac Live Commercial Product Demonstration presented by CED Greentech. Today, we're excited to not only share with you an up-close and personal look at Unirac's innovative line of flat roof and ground mount products, but also to introduce CED Greentech's National Commercial Solar Division. Next slide, please. My name is Connor Walsh. I'm the National Sales Manager at CED Greentech C&I Solutions, CED Greentech's dedicated commercial solar team. I'm also joined today by Chris Berg, Commercial Solutions Manager at Unirac, and Kara Paramanandam, Sales and Marketing Program Manager at Unirac as well. Now, today we do not plan to bore you with a long presentation of slides, quite the contrary. Instead, Chris will be introducing and demonstrating products on a live camera feed, which I hope you can see. And the goal here is to show you these products in action so you can get a true feel for the installation process, despite being on a webcam, and to stimulate your questions. As I speak, Unirac is hosting a live Twitter chat, so feel free to jump over there to pose some questions, or please feel free to drop them in the webinar chat as well. Next slide, please. So as I've said, C&I Solutions is CED Greentech's dedicated commercial and small utility sales and support team. In a nutshell, we aim to bring the same level of service that defines CED Greentech's residential business to the larger commercial contractor. And we do that because commercial contractors not only deserve a high level of support when it comes to pre-sales and procurement, but also because large commercial projects come with a unique set of challenges. For one, project cycles and lead times tend to be extremely challenging to manage. So to alleviate those issues of timing, we stock a considerable volume of 1,000 and 1,500 volt product with a particular focus on long lead time items. Furthermore, we supply complete project solutions. Our line card of products spans from module all the way to point of interconnection, of course, including racking. And this is true of large rooftop projects, as well as large scale ground mounts, including energy storage. Next slide, please. Now, the other challenges unique to commercial solar is the technical nature of design. We know these are not cookie cutter systems. And two, the challenges of geography, specifically operating in multiple geographies. So how do we address these challenges? Here at C&I Solutions, we have a fantastic technical team that lives and breathes exclusively commercial solar on a daily basis. Pre-construction support is one of our core strengths, and working in conjunction with partners like Unirac, we can aid you in designing and procuring a best-in-class PV system that is both cost-effective and highly productive. Our team of account managers, inside sales engineers, and project managers is based throughout the country, as is Unirac, to provide you with a local experience regardless of where your project takes place. Furthermore, a core strength of our team and our offering is best represented by this map here. It's our ability to serve as a single consolidated point of support regardless of project location throughout the United States. So whether your projects are throughout a particular region like the Northeast, or you're building on both coasts, the pre-construction and procurement experience with C&I Solutions remains the same. So at the bottom of the slide here, you'll find a link to an online form to request more information, but please also feel free to reach out to me directly. My email is at the bottom of the screen. With that, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Without further ado, I'll now kick things over to Chris and Karen to begin the live product demonstration.
Thanks so much, Connor. Really appreciate that introduction to CED C&I. So I wanted to, again, my name is Karen Paramanandam. I am the Sales and Marketing Program Manager here at Unirac, and I will just be assisting, but I wanted to just give you a quick overview of what our agenda would be. So first, we're going to cover best practices for commercial flat roof and commercial sites. Review our extensive product portfolio, and then we're going to do a deep dive demo into Ecofoot 2+. And finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session that will bounce back to Connor. All right, fabulous. Chris.
Great.
Thanks for agreeing to do this with me.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So we're going to talk about our best practices. So what are the best practices that you would recommend to those listening in?
Yes, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you're using a Unirac product on your flat roof. That's probably the biggest point and the best practice to get your project off on the right foot is going to be a Unirac product of our flat roof portfolio here. So you also want to make sure that you have a PE, a structural engineer, analyze the building structure that you're going to be putting the racking system on. You want to make sure that the structure is strong enough to support the additional loads that a ballasted system is going to enact on the building. And it could be that the building is extremely strong and you don't really need to worry about the weight of the system on the roof, or you could find out that you have a very low PSF limit and we have to design accordingly to that. That's just a great practice. It's something that everybody should be doing. It's extremely important to make sure that the system is safe and the building is able to support those loads. You also want to make sure that once you get a finalized design from us, that you also create a really great staging plan. That can make or break your install time on a roof. So you want to have a map of where you want your product located on the roof, along with maybe your inverters are going on the roof as well, ballast block that you're going to need, your modules as well, so that as you build, you clear space ahead of where you're going. And that way you're not transporting racking or ballast or other product related items across the roof. So you're not wasting time walking back and forth. You're kind of building as you go, creating open space as you go. And so having that staging plan will save you time on the roof. It'll also help you keep your job site organized and reduce your crane picks or landing where they're going to go. So it's really important. Cranes, as everybody on this webinar probably knows, are expensive, and so you want to minimize the amount of time you have a crane on site. You also want to make sure that you actually have a safety plan for it. So mark your perimeters, make sure that you have somebody dedicated to making sure that people on the roof are safe. Use PPE, gloves, eye protection, fall protection, all those great things to make sure you're OSHA compliant. We also want to make sure when you're finally ready to install that your roof is free of debris. You don't want to place bases or bays on top of things that over time could puncture a membrane roof and create leaks for you. Leaks are terrible things to deal with. If anybody on this webinar has ever tried to track down a roof leak on a flat roof, it can be very challenging because where the leak is inside may not be where it is on the roof. So tracking down a leak, making sure that you have that clean surface to begin with before you start installing is really important. You also want to make sure that on a job site, there's all kinds of other activity going on, right? You're not typically going to be the only people up on a roof. You're going to have your installers doing the racking work, but you're also going to have people doing electrical work. And with that work, many times comes cutting of conduit or drilling out knockouts on boxes and things like that, which can create metal shavings on a roof. Metal shavings can also potentially lead to leaks. If somebody steps on them, grinds their foot, that can create a puncture in the roof. You can also step on a metal shaving and have it lodged in your foot and then continue to walk across the roof and create potential leak points as well. So you want to be very mindful of any cutting or drilling you're doing on a roof that creates a metal shaving and a potential issue down the road for yourself. So those are some basic best practices to make sure that your project goes well. And then another best practice would be to use the Unirac intake form. That is a form that we've created that gives our team, my team, the commercial services team, and CED's team, all the pertinent information you would need for us to design a product or a racking system for you. So on that, the things that we absolutely need from that form are the job site address. You'd be surprised how many people submit projects for design with us and don't include an address for us. We absolutely need that. The address and site location determines, our wind loads, the snow loads, if there's seismic considerations, earthquake mitigation that needs to happen. So we absolutely need a job site address. We also love getting module data sheets. The way our ballasting calculations work, it is based off of module size, so length, width, and weight. We know that many module manufacturers have several modules that have the same wattage, but maybe have different form factors for the frame. And so getting that module data sheet ensures that we are designing using the correct module that you plan on installing with later. And that can have a big impact on the ballasting. And so we've seen, the same module wattages be drastically different in weight, which plays into a ballasted system. So module data sheet, absolutely need that. We also love getting the roof and parapet height. Roof heights and parapets play a role in our ballasting calculations as well. It's kind of counterintuitive, but the taller a parapet is, the worse it is for wind loading. It's counterintuitive. What it does is it comes up over that parapet and creates vortices, turbulent air, and that then creates uplift. So we definitely want roof height and parapet height. We also need to know what the roofing membrane material actually is. We have roofing membrane specific friction coefficients for all our products. And so we realized that there's a big difference between a mod bit roof and an EPDM roof from a friction standpoint. And so we need to know that information. It also allows us to match attachments with the roof membrane if you're not using our attachment. Also want to know the roof slope. That again plays into our ballasting calculations. Low slope roofs are defined as roofs that have a 0 to 7 degree slope. So all our products are good from 0 to 7 degrees. Once we get above that 7 degree roof slope, we can't use a ballasted system anymore. So it's really important that we know that roof slope. And then if you have a preliminary layout, getting that to us so that we can match it is wonderful. We would take a helioscope layout, a DXF file, CAD file, even a PDF screenshot of something that you've laid out on design software. We'll take that and we can match your layout. If you don't have a preliminary layout because you just are targeting a system size, giving us that information is super beneficial. Or you can just tell us we want to max out this roof, and we can do that as well. But those are the absolute minimum we need from you to design a system. We also realize sometimes you may not know the parapet height or the roof height. We have some tools that we can use to estimate that stuff, and we always make it clear when we've estimated so that we can go back and verify that information later on. Nice to haves. These aren't absolutely required, but always great to give us more information, is to, if you know the ASCE version that you're using, or the AHJ is under, that always helps us. We maintain a spreadsheet that details all that stuff out, but sometimes there's a delay in updating that. So if you have that information, we would love to have that as well. Nice. We'd love to know the building type, risk category. So if it's a school, that falls into a higher risk category for human life, so to speak. And then there's also like fire departments, police stations, hospitals, all also have an elevated risk category. So if it's one of those, it's great to know that so that we can design appropriately. Standard commercial building, you can just tell us that it's a standard commercial building, it's an office building, it's a warehouse, all that type of stuff really helps us design things. And then back to the getting the roof analyzed. If you've done that up front, if there's a roof PSF limit, it's really great if we know that as well, because then we know the limit of how heavy the system can be. We can create a hybrid design for you, but knowing that limit is super beneficial and typically cuts down on the number of revisions needed.
Nice. Yeah. So thanks, Chris, for detailing all of that out. It seems like there's a lot that goes into planning, pre-designing before they even get boots on the ground or boots on the roof.
Yes. Yes.
Great. So we're going to dive into our full suite of products, and I believe we're going to start with Ecofoot 5D.
Yes. Great. So Karen's going to grab that product for us. So Ecofoot 5D is our 5-degree modular system. And so it is just a few core components, and we'll run through those. So the first core component, obviously, is the base. So this base is a PC ASA plastic resin. It is extremely strong, fire resistant. We actually had some additives put into the plastic to make it more fire resistant so that we could achieve full UL 2703 compliance with it. but it's very impact resistant, strong. This type of plastic is commonly found in boat hulls, car bumpers, side view mirrors. So very UV resistant and impact resistant. It's a great product, you know, covered by the standard Unirac 25-year warranty. It also, so it has 5 main components. So base being one, also comes with a universal clamp. These come banded just like this. They're pre-assembled. These clamps work on module thicknesses from 30 to 50 millimeters, which basically is every clamp out there. It also has some install aids on it. There's two marks that may be hard to see, but there's a gap between each module, east-west, and these little dots here allow you to line up your module edge with that so that your gap stays consistent.
Show that up here.
Yeah,
Like this. You can see it a little bit better.
There we go. This is, we also have a mid support. So this carries our bond north-south from row to row. Has some nice little features there. It makes it easy to install on the module. And then this also, and then we have our wind deflector. These come in specific module lengths. Each deflector covers a few inch range for modules. So we have SKUs that support all the various module lengths. And then the last main component is this ballast tray over here. We've got a 5D system built here. So that's the fifth component, the only, the remainder of the system there. Ecofoot 5D has a 9.8 inter-row space, which is enough space for a person to walk between rows. So when you have to go back and maybe service the array later on, replace maybe a microinverter or a power optimizer, you have space to do that. The ballast tray also is strong enough for a person to walk along, whether it is loaded with ballast or not. So it's a tremendously strong product there, very aesthetic looking. It is G90 steel as well as stainless steel hardware and then aluminum clamps. So really awesome product, super high packing density. The bases nest within themselves, and we can fit 340 bases on a standard pallet. So really great packing density with that. Next up would be our additional 5-degree product. This is RM5. Now RM5, again, you can see we've got 4 bases stacked here. So very nice packing density as well. This product has an inter-row space of 7.5 inches or 11 inches. So you have 2 options with it. So if you want maximum density in 5-degree, you go with the 7.5 inch. If you want a little more space to maybe walk down the rows, you can go with the 11-inch row spacing. It is 3 core components. So you have the bay, then you have a wind deflector. Big difference between Ecofoot 5D and RM5 is that on 5D, every module gets a wind deflector. RM5, it's more selective. It's mostly north row, and so you don't have that component everywhere. It also has clamps, and whereas 5D had a universal clamp, RM5 has clamps that fit a range of module thicknesses. So this clamp in particular here, so this one's good for 30 to 35 millimeters, and you actually have the option to rotate it, and it would be good for 36 to 40 millimeters. So you cover about 10 millimeters with each clamp, just depending on how you orient it onto the base. We also have another SKU that would go from 41 to 45 and then 46 to 50. So awesome product there, very simple, fast to install. It's G235 steel. It has integrated bonding, meaning that you only need 1 bond point per sub-array or 350 modules. What else can we say about RM5? I said G235 steel, so extremely corrosive resistant, great for coastal areas, Hawaii, anywhere where you're going to have a corrosive atmosphere. Also, what else was I going to say about 5 here? I think that's it, actually. Yeah, we covered. Oh, we can add bases. I'm sorry, bays. If you had a higher uplift value and you needed to get more ballast in there, you can add mid bays with this product. So it's not just on the corners. You could actually add mid bases to get a higher wind uplift compatibility. All right, and the next product we're going to talk about is GridFlex 5. So actually it's this one here. Great. So GridFlex 5 is our grid-based 5-degree system. Now this is new to the market. It's been out about a year. It is a grid-based system, like I mentioned. This is our main main racking system that we're going after a competitor that would not be named, but they also have a grid-based system as well. This system comes in rails, and you have a north rail, a south rail, and then a mid rail. The mid rail is used in the body of the array. We've actually got some really great install aids on this product. So, you know, measuring on a roof takes lots of time, right? And so we have tried to cut down on that time by providing a scale on the mid rail and the south rail for your module thickness. So you would figure out how thick your module is. In this case, we're using a 39.5-inch module. And so when you set your second rail, you would set it at the 39.5 inch mark, and then you would place it over that, place another rail over it, and use the riv nut and provided hardware to set that spacing. So you don't have to do a bunch of measuring to get your inner row or your module dimensions sorted out there. So pretty slick install aid there. It also has a north and south clamp. This is the south clamp. You can see that it is, it folds. So when you drop a module in, you then rotate this piece down like that. It has an integrated bond feature in it. So this little sharp spike there bites into the module frame, and then you tighten this down and your module then is secure. It's grabbing the return flange and smashing against the box frame of the module, so you have a really solid connection on that south side. And then you would be able to rotate your module down, and we can demonstrate that over there in just a second. And then we have our north clamp. North clamp again is universal here, and it is pretty slick in that you drop the module back down onto this, you tighten this bolt, and it pulls everything, draws everything very tight. Again, grabs the return flange, sandwiches it between, and you can see it's spring loaded, so it stays open so that you don't have any interference when you're trying to drop the module down into place. GridFlex 5 has 2 inner row spaces. It is an 8 and 11 inch, so you can, you know, get maximum density and you know, have cram as many modules on a roof as you possibly can at that 8 inch, or you can go a little wider at 11 inch. Really awesome. This product has really low ballast requirements and really low attachment requirements. And you can see, you know, that module rotates up. It would have dropped in. Your ballast tray lies underneath the module, so you have a clear path in between rows for the walking and servicing, or just when you're installing. And so you would place your ballast, rotate down the module, and then tighten these, and this clamp is going to push in and grab it. The last part of GridFlex 5 is a really tiny little deflector, wind deflector that then places over and screws into the clamps. So pretty slick, neat little design. GridFlex 5, very fast to install for a grid-based system. Let's see, low attachment count, low ballast count, really awesome. This has really taken off in the last year. I think I'm really excited about what we've done with it, going from brand new product to being deployed pretty widely throughout the country here. I think it's really been adopted. And something I want to point out is we have product, which we've been hearing from some of our install partners that they can't get product from some of our competitors. So we have this. Right now it is about a 4 to 6 week lead time for GridFlex 5. All our other products ship out in our standard lead time, which is like 5 to 6 days from receiving a PO. So we have product to ship. So if you're having trouble getting product, let us know, and we'd be happy to swoop in and redesign using something of ours. The next system I'm going to talk about today is RM10. So RM10 is a 10-degree product. It has 19.2 inner row space and is only 2 main components. Pretty incredible that we've gotten something down to where we only have 2 core components. Those components are the bay and then a universal clamp. Universal clamp, it just drops onto the bay, and you would take a hammer or mallet and hammer it down. That would then secure it tightly in place. We get really great connection that way. And so, our bonding goes through that. So you hammer that down, place your module, and then we have a screw that sits in here and pushes the module frame into this return flange clamp. There you go. So that would just screws in like that. And you tighten it down, pushes the module frame, captures it. We also have the optional roof pad. So we understand many roofers, understandably, don't want something coming in direct contact with their roof. So you have the option to install these roof pads, and they actually just snap in very quickly, easily. And there you go. And now you have something between the racking and the roof. So pretty slick in that. This product is the one that is best suited for bifacial modules. We understand, bifacial modules are very popular these days. Because it does not have a wind deflector, you get backside production. There's nothing blocking that north row from getting light. It's also the tallest off the roof of all our systems. So we have, it's taller, so you get more backside production if you're looking for backside production. And we've seen this product be deployed all over the country with bifacial modules. And we're always looking for feedback on those things, right? So we don't yet fully understand, and I don't know that many people do yet, how to estimate backside production on modules. And so we would ask that, if the people on this webinar, your customers, our customers, have great ways to do that. We're always looking for that feedback. And so, we know that this is the best racking system that we have for that, but we aren't totally clear on the percentage of backside gain you get. And I don't know that anybody has fully vetted that out yet, but so feedback from our install partners would be awesome on that. Also wanted to mention that we are developing the next generation of RM10. That product is going to be called RM10 Evo for evolution. So that will be a very similar product, except that it is a reduced inner row space. So we're down to 13-inch, what's up? Oh, we've lost my feed.
No, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Great. Sorry. So RM10 Evo. So reduced inner row space. It'll be a 13-inch inner row space. We are improving the clamping function with that. So it's going to have a redesigned clamp. No audio.
Coming through fine over here, guys.
You're coming through fine over there? Okay.
Okay, great.
Yep, we're good. We're good.
Okay, great. Some other changes we've made to the base with RM10. Currently, you cannot tuck the north row underneath a module. With RM10 Evo, you will have that ability, and that will actually lead to reduced ballast on the north row, and because the ballast is fully applied to the module, it's directly underneath the module. There's no sort of wheelbarrow effect or anything like that.
I'm going to pause really fast because it seems like we've lost our feed on our end. We can't actually see. Do you guys see us still?
Yeah, I can still see you, Karen,
Okay.
on the big camera.
Fabulous. We'll continue. We
Show
shall
must go
continue
on.
then. We shall continue.
Great. All right. We also, oh, I'm sorry, in RM10 Evo, we can do designs for that now. We are finalizing the wind tunnel results. We are expecting those in actually next week. It'll take us a little bit of time to get that implemented into UBuilder, but RM10 Evo will be in UBuilder,
Okay.
so customers will be able to design with that product, and it will be available to ship this year. So probably early fourth quarter here is what we're hoping. So RM10 Evo, you know, if you have a 10-degree project that needs tighter inner row than what we currently support, please send us the RM10 Evo design request and we'll get moving on that for you.
Fabulous. Okay.
Great.
So next
And
we're going to talk about GridFlex.
Yes, GridFlex 10. So we are also working, our product development team is also working on a GridFlex 10-degree option. That will be available in earlier 2022. It will have 3 inter-row space options. Those options are, I believe, the next one, I believe it's, what is it, 11, there it is, 10, 13, and 17 inches. It is going to have all of the same great features that everyone's come to expect with GridFlex 5, so integrated bonding, really quick installation for a grid-based system, options for, as I mentioned, options for inter-row space variants. So, you know, if you need to fit more, you can, or if you want more working clearance, you can do that as well. We'll have low ballast, low attachment requirements as well. Be fully vetted, be available, like I said, in early 2022. So we are not ready to do designs for that yet, but as we are getting ready for that, we'll let the team know, and we'll get out there and start pounding the pavement and getting the word out about GridFlex 10.
Fabulous. I'm looking forward to that. So the next thing we're going to jump into is our accessories and our attachments. So why would anybody come to Unirac for accessories and attachments?
Yeah, so we really want to be your one-stop shop. We want to provide everything you could possibly need for a rooftop system racking wise. And so we have module level power accessories. So if you are using micros or optimizers, we have ways to mount those to either the module itself or to our racking. With Ecofoot 2 Plus and 5D, we actually have a module level or an MLPE bracket that goes onto the clamp that I'll demonstrate in a little bit here. But we also have options for mounting those things to the module itself. We sell our own attachment, and our attachment FlashLock RM is a fantastic product, very, very, very cost competitive. I think people will be extremely surprised at how cost competitive it is. It has a great advantage over like a U-anchor or an OMG in that you don't necessarily need a roofer to install it. That can be done just by a regular worker on the roof, so a solar installer or electrician. We have roof approval letters from the biggest names in the roofing industry, and so we can provide those. It is the strongest attachment out there. Really, really great product, really cost effective. And like I said, doesn't necessarily need a roofer to install it. So you're saving money on that labor side too. You're not necessarily contracting a roofer to do that work for you.
Nice.
We also have module clips. So if you have wire management you're considering doing, we sell module clips for those. We have electrical boxes that you can do to mount on the roof. We have a product called EcoMount, which allows you to mount inverters right next to your arrays on the roof. It's based off of our 2+ system, very successful. So we have all the accessories you're going to need to fully install your racking on the roof. So we want to be your one-stop shop.
Nice. And actually, just a quick mention here is that CED Greentech, for those of you who are tuning in today, CED Greentech has obviously the ability to fulfill any of these products from Unirac, but also carry obviously your batteries and your inverters and all of that, right? So we give CED Greentech a little plug on that one too. Just a quick reminder, I think we have some documents that are linked in your GoToWebinar documents. There's a really great flat roof application guide that will give you a kind of a full side-by-side comparison of all of our flat roof products and benefits and advantages of each one. The other thing is there's some document links in there and a link to our YouTube channel. So we actually have step-by-step instructions on how to install all of our products on our YouTube channel. So I encourage you all to log in there, subscribe. We post great content on there specifically for installers, developers, and project leads. Okay, so the next thing that we want to talk about, of course, and this is the star of the show, is our Ecofoot 2+ demo. So we seem to have lost one of our camera feeds, so hopefully we'll be able to actually change a couple of things really fast, and then we will get right in. I think we want to move some of these out of the way as well, right?
Oh, yeah, so we're just going to create a little space for ourselves here. Slide that. And we'll get this just out of the way. There we go. That should work just fine. Great. So Ecofoot 2+. So set this here so everybody can see. So as mentioned, Ecofoot 2+ is, again, that same resin that 5D is. It's kind of the big brother to 5D. It has an 18.9 inter-row space and has 3 core components. So again, those 3 core components would be the base, the universal clamp, again, which comes banded. It has a north and a south clamp. The way you tell the difference between the two is the north clamp has this stud to receive the wind deflector when you get to that point in the install, and then a wind deflector. We also have some accessories that can be used with the system, and that would include the Ecofoot MLPE bracket.
Let me just show that in front of the camera so people can see that really fast.
Yeah. Great. That is a UL listed part and provides bonding through your micro or optimizer, so there's no additional bonding required for that. And then we also have a mid support kit. The mid support kit is used in high snow load areas or with some of the jumbo modules that have come out into the market. And so this provides a mid point to support those modules. You certainly don't need to use it if you're not in a high snow load area. And we typically define high snow load is anything above 30 PSF. So, your mountainous regions, the Northeast, here in Colorado, once you get just like west of where we are right now, the snow load increases pretty substantially. And so you would use this mid support kit. It does come with a pre-applied EPDM pad on it, so there's no rough or sharp edges coming in contact with the roof. And it's pretty neat in that it actually hovers just above the roof surface when there is no snow load on it. So it only comes down and contacts the roof when it's under load. So pretty slick little product there that we came up as a supplement. So like I mentioned, the main components, bases come stacked. On this product, we get 300 to a pallet, and it takes roughly 8 seconds to prep a base. So typically on the roof, you would have one guy whose sole job is to prep bases, and then they would get distributed out amongst the roof. Because it's modular, there isn't a ton of measuring that needs to happen with the system. You basically set your south line and then either your east or west line running north, north-south there. So you would mark your first row along the south edge and then your east edge, and that's where you would start loosely placing bases based on the length of your module. In this case, this is a 78-inch module, so our base would be about 78 inches apart from each other. So
Nice.
like I mentioned, fully pre-assembled clamp comes banded just like that. And to install that, very simple. You just take the clamp, it nests, lands in the base, and you just slide that cotter pin through. And now that base is prepped and ready to go. So we'll just set that one loosely where we think it's going to end up. And then you would take your other south row clamp, get that out of there. And again, slide the cotter pin into place just like that. And then you would loosely place it based on your spacing somewhere in that area. And then you would do the same thing for the north. So let's see, like that. We'll get that popped in and we'll loosely place it there. And for the last one, for this one, we're actually going to install the MLPE bracket because we're going to install an MLPE. And so that, again, just pops in just like that, and you're ready to go. And you can see it nests in there very nicely. Actually, I missed it. There we go. There we are. And it's in there, secure. And then you would take your MLPE. And the bracket comes with hardware, so you get a serrated flange, bolt, and nut. Unscrew that. Here's your MLPE. Put that in there. And there we are. Screw that on. You can get it finger tight to start. And then finish it off with the impact. And let's make sure. There you go. And so now this is ready to go from a install standpoint there. And you would then place it just about where, oh, except I prepped it backwards. That's embarrassing.
We were testing you. We were testing you. We did that on purpose.
Yes, yeah. That is embarrassing. There, counterintuitive. All right. And there we go. So let's flip it around. Apologies for that. Just like that. All right. And I like to, on that first row, it's a little difficult on a slippery surface like this to get that first module installed. So I like to place a ballast block in that first row so that the base doesn't slide around as you're trying to place your module. So we're gonna easily just place the block. And we'll do it on this one too. You can fit up to 6 blocks on the north row for Ecofoot 2 Plus, 3 blocks in the inner row bases without shade on the module. You also have the ability to add mid bases as well for those jobs that may have, higher uplift values and you just need more ballast than what you can fit in a base without shade. So you kind of get the bases laid out relatively close to where you think they would be based on your module width. And so we can quickly check that. just by grabbing the tape.
See, they can make sure they can see this.
And let's go, whoops, excuse me. So we'll go there to about 78 inches, which we're relatively close already. There we go. Great. And then you would grab your module. So I'm going to jump off screen, grab a module, and be right back. All right. This is module. I recommend on the first row, typically having 2 people do this because it's much easier on that first row. Once you get everything put together, it becomes much easier on the subsequent rows. So you get that, take your base, slide it around, get it set, and then you drop that in. You can go back to your base is back here, and you can just kind of move the base around a little bit, get it so that it, excuse me, Karen, is close to where you want it. You can drop that down. We'll do the same thing over here. There we are. Ah, look at that. So we are landed on this side. Now, one great feature, you can see the Ecofoot 5D display here is not giving us enough room to get this last base in place here. So the beautiful thing about Ecofoot is it is really adaptable. So we understand on a commercial roof, you don't always do a great job of marking out all of the obstructions on the roof. So in this case, we're going to pretend that this 5D display here is a roof drain or something, right? And you can see we don't have the space. Oh man, we really screwed up this whole design now. What are you going to do? Well, because Ecofoot is so adaptable, you can actually pop out the cotter pin and rotate the base around. That north row can be tucked. Now you've just created more space for yourself on the roof. Let's get that in there. There we are. Perfect. So now you've just created more space for yourself on the roof. Pretty amazing that you are able to do that with this product. So then you would just come back with your impact, the torque values on these clamps. You want to tighten things to 14 foot-pounds. There we are. Just tighten it down. There you go. Do the same thing on the south side here. And come around the north side. You can get it lined up with the module edge. There we are. Put it down. And do it again on the other side. And then the last thing you would do, you would have wired, we won't run through that in this demo, but you could have wired your module to the optimizer. And you remove the serrated flange bolt there, and then you would just grab your wind deflector, which is off screen.
Yeah, I grab it.
There we are. Wind deflectors are chosen based on the module length, excuse me, and it then just drops into these slots, and I'll show you there. Drops in and pops in. There we go. And whoops, you just tighten those flange bolts. This one's a little oversized in that if this was a large array, we've designed in some overlap with the deflectors. So typically the deflector max is like 2 inches longer than the module dimension. So with a 78-inch module, you would your deflector would need to be at least 2 inches longer than that module. So we've sized it, the deflector, so that you get the maximum coverage over a module, so that we have reduced skews with the deflector there. I also had mentioned we have these mid support. So the mid support in a high snow load area, you would just come back and it actually fits underneath and grabs the return flange, and you just pull it forward and it pops into place. And there you have a mid support for your high snow load area. Now you can see there is actually a little bit of space underneath that. So if we did get a heavy snow, it then comes down and contacts the roof. When the snow melts, it comes back up off the roof. So it's not used all the time. We've also built in some bonding features into it. So it scrapes through the module anodization with this little tooth there. Row-to-row bonding for Ecofoot 2 Plus is done with a bond jumper. We do not have north-south bonding with this, but we do sell that bonding jumper as an accessory as well. You could also go old school and use copper and a ground lug. Don't see many folks doing that anymore. Copper has gotten expensive, and the bond jumper is just a faster, easier way to do it. The east-west bonding is done through the deflector. So pretty slick system. This has been tested by DNVGL as the fastest racking system on the market. That's not us saying that, that's a third-party verification saying that. And they were able to get 13.5 modules installed per man-hour. That was done with them having never seen our product before. So a real seasoned crew can go much faster than that. So fastest product on the market today. I don't think there's anything out there that's faster than this. So when you're on a tight installation budget and you need to keep your install costs as low as possible, this is a really great option for that. Yeah,
very cool.
So
Awesome.
awesome.
So I think the next thing that we want to talk about, apart from all the great ways that you can engage with CED, CNI, and of course the Unirac team, is to talk about our Q&A session. I think there's a few questions in the chat, and Hannah and Connor, I'm going to give it back to you.
Yes, thank you, Karen and Chris. That was fantastic. It's not easy doing those things on the fly, live, dealing with technology. So thank you. And thanks for everyone. I'd say the biggest question that's come in among many is, how do you select the right product for the right job? I know you guys have a great resource, the sheet that was posted that we'll also send out after, but you could briefly get into that. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that is a great question. I know it can feel a little overwhelming because we do have so many options, right? But the reason we have so many options is because we don't want to ever have to walk away from a project because we didn't have the right solution. So we're constantly thinking about that, trying to evolve our product line to make sure that we have the perfect solution for your project. My team, the commercial services team, is really well versed at helping customers select the right product for their project. Our outside sales team is also great at that. They're a really great resource. The CNI team at CED can also help with that, but we do not mind running multiple designs for you. Sometimes it's not exactly clear what product is going to be the best one. You may have, multiple competing criteria that we need to deal with, and so we have no problem, looking at, GridFlex 5 versus Ecofoot 5D. We'd be happy to run those designs for you and then talk through it with you. Talk about the goals for the project, the limitations with the structure, and then work with you to select the best product for you. So no problem running multiple designs. We are happy to do that. It's why we're here. We want to make sure that we get you the best product solution for your job site. So we are happy to do that stuff. And
Awesome.
we actually really enjoy it. Actually, it's kind of fun to see how our products compare head to head to each other.
And something else I wanted to add is that if you've already designed a project with a particular product and you would like to give Chris and his team the opportunity to see what they can do to optimize it, please, reach out to us again
Yes.
because that's something, like he said, we enjoy doing it. That's what we're here for. We're the experts. So, lean on us to do that kind of work.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, we also have online design tools, so you can do designs yourselves. UBuilder is fantastic. Actually, Ecofoot 2 Plus just made it onto UBuilder this week. So we're really excited about that. And UBuilder is a great resource. So you can do a UBuilder design yourselves, send it to us. We can further optimize perhaps, or we can, take the whole design on ourselves and provide multiple options for you. We're really excited to do that stuff.
Nice.
Great. Thank you both. And along similar lines, Paul asked a question, which of your products is best for high wind zone areas, in particular hurricane zones, maybe winds where you have to build to 180 miles per hour?
Yes. So I think GridFlex 5 is kind of that high wind product. Again, we could look at multiple options. Really depends on the site factors, right? Building height plays a real big role in that as well. So while you can have a really high wind speed, we do have modifiers for wind or building heights. So the taller the building, the worse the modifier gets. But yes, all our systems have been wind tunnel tested, boundary layer wind tunnel tested. So we have that data to back everything up. And so GridFlex 5, really great for really high wind zone areas. Ecofoot 2 Plus also is really great for those things because of the ability to add mid bases to provide more ballast. We can also do hybrid systems with all of our systems. So a mixture of ballast and attachments in those high wind areas. But yes, GridFlex 5, because of its amazing load sharing capabilities, is a really great product for high wind areas.
Excellent. Two more questions. We're approaching the top of the hour here. One is how to get in touch. Hannah, maybe you can put up the final slide as we're answering the next question. But the other was how do these systems ship? And you got into that a little bit earlier in terms of pallet, bays per pallet, but what should you expect when the truck drops this equipment off?
Yeah, so we can provide weights and DIMs and the number of pallets. Our orders team can give that to you so you know what to expect, exactly what's showing up, how much it weighs. So again, that goes back to having that staging plan on a roof. So we can provide that information to you. Packing density, all our products have actually really great packing density with 2 Plus, 5D, and RM5 being the best. But, all of them have actually pretty great packing density. So, like I said, our orders team can provide, pallet number and weight. Like I said, we have all these products in stock with the longest lead time being on GridFlex 5 right now, 4 to 6 weeks, but everything else is in stock, typically ships within 6 days of receiving a PO. Or if you don't want it that quickly, you just need to let us know when you would like it shipped and we can hold for shipping. Hopefully I answered that question.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, great.
And with that, here's my contact information on the screen. Please don't hesitate to reach out with a project, with an opportunity, with more questions. There were a few that we didn't get to in the chat. But Karen, Chris, and the whole Unirac team there, thank you for making this a reality. All the participants and attendees, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time. And we do hope to work together on a future project. So thank you again and have a great rest of the day, everyone.
Fabulous. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.